At the beginning of the movie, we see a train moving through a desert. Inside the train, we see a man named Virgil who is traveling somewhere. Sitting in front of him is a woman holding a baby, and she looks very disturbed. Virgil notices her condition. After some time, when the train stops, Virgil goes to the woman, gives her his bread, and then gets off the train. When he steps down, the place looks completely empty with no one around. Before reaching this place, Virgil had already booked a car. He walks toward a nearby shop and asks a man for the bathroom, but the man does not speak to him and only points with gestures to show the direction. Virgil walks ahead and finds an old, dirty bathroom. Since he has no other option, he uses it. After a while, his driver Keith arrives and calls out to him. Virgil then gets into the car with Keith, and they start traveling toward a place called the compound. After driving some distance, an argument begins between Virgil and Keith because the driver demands more money. Eventually, Virgil is forced to agree. Soon after, Virgil tries to turn on the car's air conditioning, but Keith stops him and explains that because of the extreme heat, turning on the AC could overload the engine and cause it to shut down. They continue driving, but after some time, the car's tire gets punctured, forcing them to stop and change it. During this time, Virgil sees two dogs fighting violently. One dog becomes badly injured while the other keeps attacking it. Keith scares the attacking dog away and then intentionally kills the injured dog to end its suffering. As they continue their journey, night falls and they decide to stop for the night. Keith asks Virgil why he wants to go to the compound, since very few people ever go there. Virgil explains that he saw a job promotion and is going there for work. Keith warns him that the road is very dangerous and becomes even more dangerous the farther they go. The next morning, they leave again. Virgil is driving while Keith is asleep. Seeing this, Virgil turns on the AC and shortly after, the engine shuts down. Keith realizes what happened and becomes very angry. He repairs the engine while Virgil walks around nearby. While walking, Virgil notices a shiny stone. When he checks it, he suspects it might be gold and calls Keith. Keith uses a lighter and says that if it turns black, it is just a stone. But when heated, the stone shines even more, confirming that it is real gold. They start digging to remove it, but despite many attempts, they fail. They try different methods throughout the day, but nothing works. By evening, Keith brings wood, warning Virgil that wild dogs are common in the area. They sit near the fire, and Keith becomes very excited, believing his life is about to change. Keith suggests going back to the city to rent a digging machine. He wants Virgil to go, but Virgil refuses, saying he is new and doesn't know anyone. Keith agrees, and the next morning gives Virgil supplies and a satellite phone before leaving, saying it may take a few days. After Keith leaves, Virgil sets up a tent and gathers firewood. At night, he hears dogs barking and becomes scared. The next morning, while going to freshen up, his phone rings but disconnects before he can answer. Bored, Virgil wanders and reaches a high place where he finds a crashed airplane. He considers staying there but remembers he must guard the gold. He carries airplane parts back, gets exhausted, and sleeps in his tent. Later, the heat wakes him. He sits near the gold and starts talking to himself. He manages to break off a small piece of gold. Keith then calls and says his car broke down due to overheating, delaying his return. Virgil happily tells him about the gold piece. That night, wild dogs attack, but Virgil scares them away with fire. The next morning, a snake approaches him while he is drinking water. He tries to kill it, but it escapes, knocking over his water. Virgil returns to the airplane for shade, but sees someone approaching and hides inside. A woman appears and claims it is her hiding place. She offers food and water, but Virgil ignores her. She follows him, asking questions until she sees his camp and angrily destroys it. In rage, Virgil accidentally kills her. He searches her bag, buries her body, but later burns it after a dog digs it up. He feels emotional afterwards. The next morning, Keith calls and says his machine is secured but will take time. Virgil sees a passing car but does not leave because of the gold. Later, a massive storm hits, destroying his camp. A branch pierces his stomach. The next day, injured, Virgil searches for the gold spot, removes the branch, cauterizes the wound, and eventually collapses. When he wakes, a woman with a spear gives him water. He thinks it is the same woman he killed. Keith later calls, saying he is close. The woman returns, asking for her missing sister. Suddenly, wild dogs surround Virgil. Keith watches from a distance as the dogs kill Virgil. Keith arrives, but the woman kills him with an arrow. The movie ends here. If you liked this story, like the video. For more stories like this, subscribe to the channel.